Your plus one isn't welcome. We don't have room, my sister said about her rehearsal dinner. My plus one was my fiancé of 3 years. That's different. So I smiled, RSVP'd no, and updated the honeymoon resort I'd booked them as my gift. When they arrived in Bali to no reservation found, change. My plus one is Maya, my fiancé of 3 years. I understand, Dylan, but venue capacity is tight. She didn't look up from her phone. But there's room for Brian's new girlfriend he met last week? That's different. Not a question, a statement. Maya's hand tightened around mine. My mother was arranging napkins across the room, suddenly fascinated by color coordination. My father studied his scotch like it contained the universe's secrets. How is that different? Jessica finally looked up with that expression I'd seen 1,000 times. The older sister patience, the subtle condescension. Brian is family. We want him comfortable. His girlfriend is being respectful of our situation. You're making this difficult. I smiled, set my coffee cup down, stood up. No problem. We'll skip the rehearsal dinner. Dylan, don't be dramatic. Not being dramatic, just declining. I pulled out my phone. Actually, we'll skip the whole wedding. You're not coming to my wedding because of a rehearsal dinner? I'm not coming because my fiancé of 3 years isn't welcome, but Brian's Tinder date from 6 days ago gets a seat. I scrolled through my email. Also, about that honeymoon package I booked you? Her face changed. What about it? Consider it my wedding gift to myself and Maya instead. We'll enjoy Bali. I updated the reservation while standing in her living room. Changed guest names from Jessica and Marcus to Dylan and Maya. Changed dates to next month. Clicked Submit. Took 45 seconds. All set. Samara Villas in Ubud, October 14th through 19th. You should probably start looking at other options. You can't. Just did. I took Maya's hand. We're leaving. If you walk out that door, Jessica said, voice shaking, don't bother coming to my wedding. I looked at her, my older sister who I'd spent my entire life trying to please. Okay, I said, and we walked out. My name is Dylan. I'm 37 years old. I work as a barber. I own 3 barber shops across the city. Fade Authority on Market Street, Executive Cuts in the Financial District, and Crown and Comb in Riverside. Most people in my family think I just cut hair for a living and probably make about $40,000 a year. What they don't know is that my shops gross $1.2 million annually. I have 11 barbers working for me plus 2 receptionists and a bookkeeper. I personally cleared $340,000 last year after expenses and taxes. I bought my first shop 5 years ago for $87,000 cash, turned it profitable within 8 months, opened the second location 2 years later, the third 18 months after that. My house, a 3-bedroom Craftsman, I bought 3 years ago for $285,000, also cash, no mortgage. My family has no idea because I never told them. I don't post about money on social media. I wear jeans and t-shirts. I drive a 7-year-old F-150. I live quietly. Jessica thinks I'm barely scraping by. She's a corporate attorney pulling in $190,000 a year and makes sure everyone knows it. Brian is a pharmaceutical sales rep making maybe $85,000. Our parents are comfortable but not wealthy. I'm the middle child. Jessica is the achiever who did everything right. Brian is the charmer who could do no wrong. I was just there. The one who didn't go to college. The one who could have done more. I started cutting hair at 16 because I needed money. Dad's hours got cut. Mom's salary barely covered groceries. Jessica needed college application fees, $900 total. Brian needed new soccer equipment, and I needed to eat lunch at school. So I bought clippers from a pawn shop for $35 and watched YouTube videos until 2 a.m. Started cutting hair in our garage. Charged $8 per cut. Made $60 my first weekend. By 18, I was fully booked every weekend and making more than my mother's part-time salary. I didn't go to college. Went to barber school instead. 9 months, $4,500. Worked full-time at a grocery store while attending. Got hired at a downtown shop making $32,000 a year plus tips. At family dinners, Jessica talked about pre-law classes. Brian talked about soccer games. I listened. Nobody asked how barber school was going. Nobody asked if I liked my job. I was 23 when I realized I was making the shop owner rich. I was pulling in about $180,000 annually for his business while taking home $48,000. So I started saving 50% of every paycheck, lived with 2 roommates, $450 a month for my share, drove a $2,800 Honda Civic, ate rice and beans 4 nights a week, wore the same 5 t-shirts in rotation. At 28, I had $73,000 saved, found Sal's Cuts on Market Street, dying slowly because Sal was 71 and couldn't keep up. I offered him $87,000 cash for everything. He accepted same day. Rebranded it to Fade Authority, spent $12,000 renovating, installed a booking system, created an Instagram account. Within 8 months, I was profitable. Within 2 years, I had 3 barbers working for me and enough saved to open a second location. Nobody in my family knew. When I opened my second location, Jessica heard about it from a friend. "So you have 2 shops now? Must be expensive to maintain." "It's manageable." "Are you doing okay financially? Do you need help?" I almost laughed. "I'm good, Jess." She didn't ask how much I made. She assumed I was struggling and offered help from her position of superiority. I let her assume. Why? Because the family dynamic was set. If they knew I was successful, everything would change. Jessica would resent me for succeeding without a degree. Brian would suddenly need loans. My parents would expect me to fund everything. So I kept quiet, drove my old truck, wore ratty jeans, said business is good, and changed the subject. Maya noticed something was wrong. We met 4 years ago. She's a hairstylist who owns her own salon, makes about $95,000 a year. We started dating, got engaged 7 months ago. 2 years into our relationship, we were at my parents' house for Sunday dinner. Jessica was talking about her new $62,000 Audi financed over 6 years, Brian about his $4,800 Cancun trip on a payment plan. My mother asked if we'd taken any trips. "We went to Portland last month," I said. "That's nice," Jessica said, not looking up. "Affordable, smart for your budget." Later, in the car, Maya said, "They talk to you like you're broke." "I know. Why do you let them?" I didn't have a good answer. The truth was, their assumptions bothered me less than the alternative. If they knew I was successful, the dynamic would explode. "I like my peace," I told Maya. The pattern continued. At Brian's 30th birthday, my parents threw him a party, $3,800 total. My father pulled me aside. "Dylan, could you pitch in, maybe $800? "What about Jessica? She'll pay us back later." "She wouldn't, but I paid $1,200, my third. Jessica never paid them back. Brian didn't thank me, he thanked our parents." Maya drove home in silence. "They treat you like the default payer." "It was Brian's birthday. Your birthday was 3 months ago. Did anyone throw you a party?" "They took me to Olive Garden, $76 total, split 3 ways. I paid for my own meal." Jessica got engaged to Marcus 6 months ago. He's a financial analyst making $145,000, drives a leased BMW. Nice guy, very concerned with appearances. The engagement party was at Stellino's, upscale Italian. Entrees start at $48. 28 people. When the bill came, $4,200, Jessica looked at me expectantly. Before I continue, if you're enjoying this story, please hit subscribe and tell me in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is. I read every single comment, and it truly means the world to me. Thank you for your support. Now, back to the story. "Dylan, you're doing well with multiple locations, right? Could you cover this? We'll pay you back." I covered it. They didn't pay me back. Then came the honeymoon conversation. At brunch, Jessica was scrolling through resort pictures. "We're thinking Bali, Samara Villas in Ubud. But it's so expensive, $6,800 for the week." She sighed. "Maybe we'll do something smaller, less Instagram-worthy, but more realistic." Maya's expression said, "Don't do it." I did it anyway. "I'll book it for you. Wedding gift." Jessica's eyes lit up. "Really? That's so generous." I booked it that afternoon. $6,785 after taxes. "That was a bad call," Maya said that night. "She's my sister. She treats you like her backup plan." The rehearsal dinner conversation happened 5 weeks before the wedding. We were at Jessica's apartment. Her and Marcus, me and Maya, Brian and his new girlfriend Stephanie. Stephanie, who Brian had matched with on Hinge 8 days prior. Jessica was going over the schedule. Rehearsal dinner is Friday at 6 p.m., Riverside Grill, 47 guests. "Am I on the list for a +1?" I asked. Actually, we're really tight on space, just family and wedding party, keeping it intimate. Maya's my fiancé. I know, but we're trying to keep it close. I looked at Stephanie, sitting close to Brian, her hand on his thigh. What about Stephanie? She's invited. She's dating Brian for 8 days. That's different. I waited. She didn't explain. How is that different? Her voice took on an edge. Brian is family. We want him comfortable. You're making this complicated. I'm making this complicated because my fiancé of 3 years isn't invited, but Brian's dating app match gets a seat? The venue capacity is firm. I've cut people I actually wanted there. This isn't personal. Who did you cut? That's not relevant. Marcus's college roommate? Maya asked quietly. The one you've met twice? Jessica's face flushed. The seating arrangements are final. I stood up. Then Maya and I won't be there. Don't be dramatic. I'm declining an invitation that doesn't exist. You're still coming to the wedding, right? I looked at Maya. 3 years together. Engaged for 7 months. Her family embraced me after 3 months. They treated Maya like gold, which meant they treated me like gold. My family couldn't give her a seat at a rehearsal dinner. I don't know, I said. It's my wedding, Dylan. And Maya's my fiancé. She'll be at the wedding itself. This is just one event. After everything we've done for you, can't you let this one thing go? The room went silent. What have you done for me? I asked quietly. We're your family. When have you been there for me? When I was working 3 jobs through barber school? When I was eating rice and beans 6 nights a week to save money? My voice stayed calm. When exactly?
We didn't know. You didn't ask. You assumed I was struggling and didn't take me seriously because I didn't go to college. You need me to be less than you so you can feel successful. That's not true. I paid for Brian's birthday party, $1,200. You were supposed to pay Dad back, did you? I paid for your engagement party, $4,200. You said you'd pay me back, did you? I booked your honeymoon, $6,785. You make $190,000 a year, but you asked me because you think I owe you. This is ridiculous. But my fiancé can't come to your rehearsal dinner. I pulled out my phone, found the Samara Villas confirmation. Dylan, what are you doing? Marcus asked. Updating the reservation. Jessica went white. You can't. I can. It's my confirmation number. I clicked through. Change guest name to Dylan and Maya. Update dates to next month. And submit. My phone chimed. Done. That was our honeymoon. Was. Now it's ours. You can't do this. Just did. You should book something else. I hear there are nice budget resorts. I took Maya's hand. We're leaving. If you walk out that door, don't bother coming to my wedding. Okay, I said, and we left. My phone exploded before we got home. 17 missed calls, 43 texts. Jessica, you're being incredibly unfair. Mom, please call me. Brian, dude, are you serious? Jessica, you're going to regret this. I turned off my phone. Maya made tea. We sat on our couch in the house I owned outright. How do you feel? She asked. Good. I meant it. No regrets? None. The next morning, 83 messages, 21 voicemails. At 11:47 a.m., my doorbell rang. Jessica, Marcus, and my mother. We need to talk, Jessica said. I'm good. Dylan, please, my mother pleaded. This has gotten out of hand. I agree. It never should have gotten to where my fiancé wasn't welcome. I own this house, the words came out, bought it in cash for $285,000. I own 3 barbershops that gross over $1 million annually. I make $340,000 a year. I'm not poor. I'm not the version of me you expected. Jessica's mouth opened. What? I didn't tell you because you never asked. The family dynamic required me to be the one who just cuts hair. Why wouldn't you tell us? Because the moment you knew, I'd go from Dylan the poor barber to Dylan who should fund everyone's life. We're your family, my mother said, and family supports each other, not uses each other. How much have I given this family in 2 years? $12,485. How many times has anyone paid me back? 0. That's not fair. What's not fair is my fiancé not being welcome while Brian's girlfriend of 8 days gets a seat. I'll add Maya to the list, Jessica said. No, we're not coming. We're going to Bali instead. We were wrong, Jessica said quietly. Can we fix this?
Not today. My mother touched the door. What about the wedding? I'm not coming. For my entire life, I bent backwards for this family. I paid for things I couldn't afford. I kept quiet when Jessica talked down to me, when Brian used me. I'm done. Maya is my family now. If she's not welcome, neither am I. I closed the door. The wedding happened without me. Trevor, my cousin, who always treated me like a person, texted updates throughout the day. Trevor, ceremony just started. Jessica keeps looking at the empty seat in the groomsmen section. Trevor, Brian's speech was painfully awkward, mentioned family being there for each other even during disagreements while staring at your empty chair. Trevor, people keep asking where you are. Jessica's telling people you're dealing with personal issues. Trevor, reception is super tense. Half the family is on your side, to be honest. Aunt Linda said, good for him, when I told her why you're not here. I appreciated Trevor's updates. At least someone in the family got it. The wedding was on a Saturday. Jessica and Marcus left for their honeymoon the following Tuesday. I was at my Market Street shop, finishing up a fade when my phone buzzed, a text from Trevor. Trevor, dude, you need to check your voicemail. Jessica just called me screaming from Bali. I'm dying. I excused myself, went to my office, and checked my voicemail. The first message was from Jessica, background noise of an airport, people talking, luggage rolling. Dylan, what did you do? We just landed in Bali and I called the resort to confirm our reservation and they said they don't have a reservation under our name. They said the reservation was changed to your name. Call me back right now. Her voice was shaking with rage and panic. The second message, 30 minutes later. She was crying now. Dylan, please, we're at the resort. They're saying the reservation is under your name for next month. We don't have anywhere to stay. We spent everything on the wedding. Marcus is losing his mind. Please, just fix this. I'm sorry about Maya, okay? I'm sorry. Please just give us the reservation back. The third message, an hour after that, Marcus this time. Dylan, it's Marcus. Look, I know things got heated before the wedding, but we're stuck here in Bali with nowhere to stay. The resort is fully booked. Everything nearby is booked because it's peak season. We're trying to find something, anything, but Jessica's in the bathroom crying and I don't know what to do. Can we please just talk about this? The fourth message was Jessica again. The crying had turned to rage. You know what? Fine. Keep your reservation. Enjoy Bali on my dime since apparently you're so successful. We'll figure something out. But this is unforgivable. You ruined my wedding and my honeymoon because your feelings were hurt. You're unfair. I deleted all 4 messages. Maya came home from her salon that evening. How was your day? Good. Jessica and Marcus landed in Bali. Her eyes widened. And? They found out about the reservation change. Oh my God, what happened? I showed her the texts from Trevor, who'd been getting updates all day. Trevor, Jessica called Mom crying from the resort. Trevor, they're staying at some budget hotel an hour away from Ubud. Jessica's Instagram story is all making the best of unexpected changes, but you can tell she's furious. Trevor, Marcus posted a photo with the caption, "Adventure is what happens when plans change," and Jessica looks furious. Trevor, Mom asked if you'd consider giving them the reservation back. I told her that ship has sailed. She got quiet. Maya was trying not to laugh. If it's wrong, I don't want to be right. If it's wrong, I don't want to be right. We ordered Thai food and watched a movie. Somewhere in Bali, in a budget hotel with questionable plumbing and no private pool, Jessica and Marcus were having the honeymoon they'd actually paid for, which is to say, nothing, because I'd paid for the one they'd planned. I slept great that night. 3 months later, my father showed up at my shop. I owe you an apology. We got comfortable with a narrative about you. We didn't expect anything because we didn't think you could achieve anything. That was wrong. He handed me an envelope, a check for $12,485. Why now? Because Trevor told me how successful you are. He said, if Dylan's been this successful while you treated him like a failure, imagine how successful he could be if you actually believed in him. I don't need your money, Dad. I needed you to see me as a person with value beyond what I could provide financially. I see you now. What about Jessica? She needs to come to you if you want that. Jessica reached out 5 months later with a handwritten letter. She was sorry. She'd been jealous for years. Jealous that I found success without the traditional path she'd killed herself for. The rehearsal dinner was her asserting control. But you were successful, more successful than me, and I couldn't stand it. And then Bali happened, and I spent my honeymoon in a $90 a night hotel with bedbugs, while you had already shown me you had the power to give me what I wanted. That's when I realized you'd been capable all along. I just never saw it because I didn't want to. I wrote back weeks later. I'm not ready to have you in my life now, but I'm not closing the door forever. Show me through actions, not words. She wrote back, fair. Maya and I went to Bali the next month. 5 nights at Samara Villas. Private pool, rice terraces, complete peace. No family drama, just us. Trevor texted on our last morning. Jessica posted a throwback to her honeymoon. People asked why different resort. She deleted it after 20 minutes. Maya raised her mimosa. To boundaries. We got married in September. Small vineyard ceremony. My parents came. Jessica and Brian didn't. I was okay with that. It's been 2 years. My relationship with my parents is better. Jessica and I are rebuilding. She's in therapy, humbler. Brian and I don't talk. My shops are thriving. I opened a 4th location, and Maya's pregnant. We're having a daughter. My grandmother used to say, blood makes you related, loyalty makes you family. I'm done bleeding for people who won't be loyal. I chose myself. I chose Maya. Best decision I ever made. What was actually happening here? This story is about invisible labor and conditional love wrapped in family dysfunction. Dylan spent years being the steady helper and the person who covered shortfalls, but that support was never reciprocated because his family constructed a narrative where he didn't deserve reciprocation. Jessica's jealousy wasn't really about money. It was about Dylan achieving success without following the proper path she'd killed herself for. The rehearsal dinner was her asserting control. You can fund my lifestyle, but your fiancé still isn't good enough for my table. The Bali situation is particularly revealing. When they arrived at the resort to find no reservation, Jessica's first response wasn't to take responsibility for how she'd treated Dylan. It was to demand he fix it. Even in her moment of crisis, she still viewed Dylan as someone who existed to solve her problems. It wasn't until she spent her honeymoon in a budget hotel that the reality hit. Dylan had always had power. She'd just trained herself not to see it. Brian learned that playing helpless got him taken care of. He learned early that charm and incompetence get you cared for. Why develop skills when someone will always bail you out? The parents enabled this entire unhealthy pattern because it was comfortable. Having clear roles for each child made family dynamics predictable. Dylan's actual success threatened to collapse that structure. The real lesson here: you teach people how to treat you, and sometimes the lesson requires consequences. Dylan tried the gentle approach for years. Deflecting questions, quietly paying things, never making waves. He thought he was keeping peace. What he was actually doing was training his family that disrespect came without cost. The Bali cancellation wasn't revenge, it was a boundary enforced with consequences. After years of one-sided generosity being exploited, he drew a line. You don't get to disrespect my fiancé and still benefit from my generosity. And when they violated that boundary, they faced the natural consequence. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for toxic family members is remove yourself from their exploitation. It forces them to either grow or lose you. Jessica grew. Brian didn't. That tells you everything. My question for you: at what point does family loyalty become self-betrayal? We're taught that family is everything, that you always forgive, that blood is thicker than water. But what happens when that loyalty only flows one direction? Is it petty to cancel a gift when someone disrespects your partner? Or is it the only way to teach people that actions have consequences? Here's my real question. Have you ever had to choose between family peace and self-respect? What did you choose? How did you know when it was time to stop being the one who always absorbs it? Drop your thoughts below. Because here's the truth. Dylan didn't ruin Jessica's wedding or honeymoon. Jessica ruined her relationship with her brother by treating him like a financial fallback for years, then expecting him to smile and accept disrespect. The Bali cancellation was Dylan finally sending a bill for services no longer rendered.